What's up, guys? June 18th, coming from sunny upstate New York. I'm in the truck because it's raining out, which is a good and a bad thing. So it's a Friday. I'm taking a day off of work to get a little fresh air. I've got some trees to plant. I'm gonna take a wild swing with 2 Dunstan chestnuts that I picked up from Walmart. I know that sounds funny buying stuff from Walmart, but actually one of the only places locally here in upstate New York you can find them if you're not trying to buy them online and have them shipped. Did a little research. Can't say I was really heavy in the weeds on chestnuts. At 30 something a pop, if they fail on me, I'm not overly concerned, but I'm going to spend some time digging, putting in some cages around them to protect them, putting them in a spot that I think is going to be great for early bow season. But what I'm reading kind of universally is they tend to drop early or late September, early October. Early to mid-October for me would be perfect. I'm not worried about late October, early November. I'm mostly rut hunting bucks at that point anyhow. But still good forage, not only for deer, for other critters, squirrels and things like that. And if they're really good, you can eat them yourself, right? So I've got 2 of those. We're going to plant those today. I probably am not going to be able to film as much as I intended, just due to the weather the way it is. But I'll give you an update when we're in the middle, beginning and end and whatnot. Also picked up a couple pears. I have a native pear or a pear that was planted in this orchard however many years ago that's huge. It always flowers. It never seems to bear fruit. So I picked up a couple more, hoping for some pollinators there. These pear, the saying, right, is plant a pear for your air. They take a long time to grow to bear fruit. But again, these were $30, I think, a piece. Some red Bartletts, if I remember right, at Lowe's. Deer love pears. I have some old ones at a property I used to hunt, and I will see them walk past just about everything, apples, corns, and whatnot, to go eat pears. So a couple of those near this big native pear might help with some cross-pollination and get me some pears earlier on. Again, not just for the deer, but for myself. I love a good juicy pear. So we're gonna do that. I got a chainsaw with me and a new weed whacker that I bought. I'll show you that in a minute. But again, the weather is it's like a light rain. So the positive of that obviously is the middle to end of June is like the worst time there is to plant any tree. You want to avoid those summer drought months that we've got coming up. We've had a huge drought here in upstate New York recently, but it's been raining off and on this entire week, which we really, really needed, so that's good. And it's supposed to rain off and on for the next couple weeks. Plus today I figure I'm going to get away without having to water too much early on. So there's that benefit there. And where I'm planting them, I don't have a garden hose to reach, right? So I'll just bring some 5-gallon buckets back if we get some droughts to keep them going. But a really bad time to plant. You should be planting in the fall or early spring, preferably, honestly, the fall. Allow them to work on their root structure late to early fall. And then over winter, they're dormant, so you're not worrying about disease and all that kind of stuff. But I'm an impatient man. I love working the land, the habitat side of things, probably, if I'm honest, almost a little bit more than the hunting side of things, but it just makes it that much more rewarding. It's kind of why I'd probably never pay to go on a guided hunt. I feel like I want to work that land. I want to earn that buck myself. Scouting, putting up tree stands, habitat, all of that, right? Any combination of that to each their own, however you want to do it. But I got the dog with me. Where is he? Where you at, Colt? Hey, buddy. So he gets to stretch his legs and run in the rain. Labs don't give a hoot about the weather. So we're gonna get going here. Yeah, you ready? Ready to go outside and run? We'll combine a couple other videos with this, and yeah, it's supposed to stop raining in a little bit, and so if it does, I'll get some weed whacking done. Cheers. Okay, so here's what we got. I wasn't wrong. We got 2 Lowe's specials, red Bartlett. They do need pollination, so there's 2. Plus I mentioned I've got that native You know, again, not a huge investment. A couple buckets of water, but like I said, it's raining, so I don't really need that. Where things get expensive is, I mean, I bought some 4 to 6 foot cage fence not that long ago, and I don't remember it being this bad, but 80 something bucks I think it was at Lowe's, plus 2 posts each. We got some shovels, chainsaw, which I don't think we're gonna get to today, and then I just bought this bad boy, which I really like so far. Tested it out a little bit. This is a Husqvarna 525 RX brush cutter. I've never bought a weed eater or trimmer that had the handlebars before. Plus this has a really cool harness. I don't have a tripod or anything to show you what it looks like, but out of the box, really easy to set up. The only thing I did, and it didn't seem to mess up the balance at all, is I slid this handle from all the way up here back, because I'm a little taller at 6'1", and it helps me get underneath those trees. So this is not cheap. It's probably more than it should, but my old Craftsman weed eater kind of shit the bed, and it just, even with a brush cutter head, it doesn't help to get close. You can see where those weeds are going up. So if it stops raining and it's not too wet, I might give that a little bit of whirl, but that might be a project for another day with the weather we've got. I'll show you the chestnuts as well. Again, Walmart specials, nothing fancy. Dropped these off here a couple days ago. Dunson chestnuts, 40 bucks. These are about 4 foot. We'll get those planted and caged. Again, excited to do a little project today. Beats work. So reason number 100, and I'm so glad I got a UTV over an ATV. Not that I couldn't have made this work. Just having this bed to get all my crap in there is perfect. So now I just gotta do some measurements, some spacing. You can see there's some old plum trees here that I was hoping could come back to life after some black knot, but I've had to cut quite a few of them out. Is that black knot just came back. It wasn't worth it. What you can't see maybe is up in that tree is my stand. I've got my apples over here, and then the fall food plot. So this general area is my easy to get to, low impact, kill them all, fill the freezer kind of stand. We just got to figure out the right spot to put these, and then plan for some additional trees in the future. Is an old peach still hanging on. No reason that needs to be here with all the other peach trees, and an old pear that's dead. So I'm gonna do some figuring out here. Okay, halftime break. You can just see the kind of soil I'm digging. Oh my gosh, dealing with. Not too bad. Again, it's a little hard to tell. It is a pretty good mixture over here. I'll be honest, where I put this first one over here is very rocky. And I put it in like a little, I don't even know what you call it. I want to say valley because that's not right, but I thought that would help with the water a little bit. And as a result of that, I hit a bunch of rocks, roots, and my fence is exposed over here. So these logs are from where I cut down this old plum tree from the beginning here. I'll come back later and figure this out. I can't go any lower there. That's the obvious solution. I hit a rock, so I just might undo that at a later date and time. But really pretty rocky there and a little bit of clay. And I've never dug anything here before, so I didn't know what to expect. I think my understanding here is they prefer a little more sandy soil, but this is not swampy. Never seen any standing water, never had an issue here. As you can see, this is an orchard, so clearly trees grow. How these chestnuts will go, I'm not sure. It's a lot of work though. Did some chainsawing. I'm probably 30 minutes, 45 minutes in to planting these two, and I gotta obviously finish digging this hole. It says to be about as deep as that bucket, twice as wide. I'll come back too and spray with some Roundup around to kill some of the vegetation. My, man, mosquitoes are freaking bad too. My logic here too, Again, it's hard to see, which isn't by design with that tree stand over there, but you can probably see that big tree in the back. That's where my stand is, or one of them anyhow. And that's about, if I remember right, about 15 yards shot, 15 or so. You know, that tree should get about 30 feet wide. Wanted to make sure I wasn't too close. I don't like those downward shots with a bow, but not too far away either, because I wanted to space these out. So between them, we have an old peach tree that, you know, if I buy some more chestnuts, can easily come down, and a plum tree that'll probably get black knot and come down. I just think it's a cool looking tree over there. I like the feature. Maybe some scrapes will get made underneath it that way that branch is on the right there. This one's at 35. So I did that intentionally, kind of, you know, that's my limit with bow. I know a lot of guys shoot 40 and up, to each their own. 35 is where my second pin adds. So I thought, why not give myself a natural distance marker here off to the west. I'll do the same thing with the pears, I think. And I got plenty of room. Another bunch of old pears. I cut another one down today before I started planting here. I like those features because they're only about 6 to 8 feet away from that wood line. And I've hunted this stand just 2 years now, but I've watched deer. They come out before they go to the apples, before they go to the food plot. I think they like that just kind of buffer there. So they're not totally exposed, yet it's not too much cover that I can't get like a shot with a gun in there. So I have room to add more. This is about 35 yards away. Spacing between these two should be plenty enough to pollinate. And like I said, I'll probably add a couple more. Hopefully, maybe in the fall or next year. Stay tuned. I'll eat some lunch here, finish planting this, go over to the pears, which I hope is a little less digging, and then hopefully get in time, home in time for my kids to get off the bus. All right, there's the second one. Finished product. Don't claim to be any expert in anything. So if you got any tips for me, something I royally messed up, or just to do better next time, let me know in the comments. I can take criticism, especially when I know I don't know really what I'm doing. So we're gonna head over, do some pears, and we'll call it an afternoon. I will say, planting and just general work in the rain kind of sucks. There'll be some blue collar construction guys out there saying, "Ha, candy ass," and you're probably right, but just because I can tolerate it doesn't mean it doesn't suck, right? I think you'd agree with that. So we'll go grab the pears. We'll head over to the spring plot, which unfortunately I haven't had a chance to mow yet. I've got my tires into a company to fill them with foam. I keep losing air in them. I think they've just run over like thorny locust or other stuff in the farm here, so that's my solution. They're not back yet, so this might be a little harder to dig over there, but I'm hoping it'll be okay. So see you in a minute. So we're at the pear tree that I talked about. This has been here for a long time. It's a big old pear tree. I've hunted this property 4 years. I've never once seen pears on it. That's why I bought more pear trees, as I mentioned earlier, I think, thinking it wasn't cross-pollinating, but out of all the stuff, all the apples that aren't growing this year, and other issues I've had, I have pears. So, does that mean I shouldn't have bought a couple pear trees? Probably not. Why not do more, right? So, give you an idea of the logic here as I get closer. This is, you can see an old driveway marker. I put this in my food plot that I'm walking through. Yeah, like I said, I know it needs to be mowed. But still, clover's looking good, chicory's looking good. Hopefully we can get in next week and mow it. So this has been here for a couple years. This is a 35-yard marker, as I mentioned earlier in the video. I like to be able to know my distances in a field. I mostly hunt woods, so I can kind of mark trees, trails, stumps, whatever. In the field, you don't have that as much. So I stuck that in there just to give me an idea. To the stand that's up there. That's about 35 yards. So I'm going to plant one pear there because, again, why not? Give yourself a yard marker. The next will go here. This is about 21. So that should be a nice spot. 35, 21. And that's another 20-yard shot off the back. So I got a little pear triangle with a clover plot. This could be a real nice spot. I did shoot a doe off this stand last year, past some smaller bucks. Could have killed bucks if I'd sat here at the right time. So wasn't for lack of trying. So we'll probably get one last update after these are in the ground. I will say also the mosquitoes are fucking horrendous back here. So this is not enjoyable, not at all. So we're done. Nothing is pretty. Nothing is professional, but never claimed to be. Gotta get going, get the kids off the bus. I actually used every inch of that fence. Maybe could have gone smaller, maybe should have gone bigger. Making them wider never hurts. So 50 feet, 4 feet high. That'll protect them for a few years from the deer. At least keep them alive. 2 gallons of water each. There's something over there that is driving him nuts. He's been barking, treeing, forgetting he's a lab, thinks he's a hound. Feeling good about the chestnuts. We'll see about the pears. I will say this is not my most lush growing part of the farm, just given how it's sloped, but I know pears don't want a ton of water. I got one over there that's kind of sloped, so we'll see. Damn shame too, all the ash trees. You can just look around this forest and they're all falling down. Well, this will probably be my update for a while. We're gonna try to build a bridge in a couple weeks. We'll see how that goes. So until then, boys and girls, have a good summer. Little bonus content here for the Can-Am. I know everybody's familiar with these bad boys and what those are good for. I was loading up these 2 5-gallon buckets of water, even though it's raining, and I see 2 notches in the back here.